Hello everyone, welcome back to our furniture flipping adventure. My name is Sarah and today I have a very exciting project that we'll be working on. I have this old cedar lane chest that somebody has already given a makeup to in a two-tone brown. But we're going to be taking this back to the original wood, stripping it down to see what's underneath, and then we'll have to see from there where we go. We'll see if the wood is salvageable and we can do a restoration on it, or if it's going to need painted back over. But we won't know until we try. So let's go ahead and get started. I don't know if you guys can see on camera, but there's a really rough texture to this paint. There's something strange going on here. I don't know what this is. Some sort of repair, but the paint is kind of rough and textured, so I'm definitely not just going to paint right over it. If I wanted to just paint it, I would sand first to get it smooth, but I'm going to go ahead and strip it because I'm interested to see what wood is hiding underneath.
I generally don't buy pieces that are pre-painted, so I'm not an expert with stripper. But I do know one thing: less is not more in this situation. More is always better when it comes to applying the stripper. I've chosen to start just with the top of this trunk, and once I get it completely covered in the stripper and then covered in saran wrap to help keep it nice and moist, I get to wait around for 15 minutes to let the stripper do its magic. The first round of stripper started to reveal the beautiful chevron pattern wood veneer underneath all this paint, and I excitedly applied the second coat of stripper. The second coat, however, revealed a little bit more of a mess than I was anticipating.
Alright, so I am day 2 on this project, and I wanted to just kind of give an update on where I am. When I stripped this top down, I knew I was going to find one of two things. Either the veneer was going to run like just average or normal, or it was going to be in this V pattern. That's just what I've seen with these waterfall styles, and I was really hoping to get this kind of chevron pattern in this chest, and that's exactly what I got, and I was super excited to see it. But it does have some damage. It's not the end of the world type damage, but it is somewhat substantial. I'll show up some close-ups. Also, something I wasn't expecting to find is whoever did paint this brown before, they used an orbital sander and they left a lot of those swirly patterns behind. They weren't being careful. Their plans were just to cover it, so their scuff sand left a lot of those little swirly things that you can get with an orbital sander sometimes when it's gummed up or just not used quite right. So there is damage all over the veneer. So my plan was just to move on to the front and see what we've got there. every expectation I had was that the pattern would continue down the front. So when I scraped back the first bit, I was flabbergasted. That's like the only word I can come up to how I feel. I'm pretty sure I gasped out loud because I was fully expecting a gorgeous pattern, and I found there is no veneer on the front. My only theory is that it was damaged and removed at some point, but the front is just the cedar. There's no veneer over it. And I can't imagine that Lane went through the trouble of making this beautiful patterned veneer on top and then didn't veneer the bottom at all. I don't believe that. I believe that probably it got damaged and removed. That's my best guess. If you know better, let me know in the comments, but I was kind of devastated. This is not going to turn into a restoration project because what I wanted to restore is gone. So I'm kind of disappointed, honestly. And these things come up in flipping. You never know what you're going to find, but I now have to come up with plan B, and I have no idea what that is. But hopefully I will by the time I finish getting this prepped for its new life of not being brown. That's all I know for now.
So, how am I going to go about fixing those squiggly lines left behind by an orbital sander? Well, with my orbital sander, of course, only I'm going to be a lot more careful than the last person was. At some point in this trunk's life, it was an interesting shade of green. Now, isn't that interesting? With the amount of damage to the veneer, especially on some of the sides and corners, I've decided to salvage the center design as far as I can to still be able to use a piece of the old to bring into my new Plan B design. I'll admit to you, I kind of jumped the gun on starting to paint. I should have sprayed a layer of shellac down first over the raw wood before beginning my painting. But honestly, I was just so overwhelmed and kind of discouraged with this project, and painting always makes me feel better. So I was anxious to get my hands on a paintbrush and just sit down and relax a while. I made it as far as around the base before I realized that I hadn't filled in the holes in the veneer at the top, and I needed to work on them before I got any further. So I filled them, let them dry, sanded them back off, then decided I needed to shellac everything. So I went ahead and shellacked right over my first layer of paint, and then I continued my painting once all of it had dried and set properly. Things don't always go the way we think they should, or the way that we want them to. And often we're prone to just see them as failure and stop, give up, throw in the towel. But if we can learn to look past failures and mistakes and hold on and keep going, often we can find beauty just on the other side of failure. This trunk didn't turn out like I thought I wanted it to, but in the end, it still has a beautiful life to share with someone. Thank you so much for joining me on today's adventure. I hope to see you next week with our next furniture makeover. Until then, I'm Sarah with our furniture flipping adventure. Make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you next time. Bye.